Another classic match, this time at White Hart Lane. Liverpool versus Spurs. A chance to see the skill of John Barnes and Peter Beardsley for Liverpool, and Gary Lineker and the ever flamboyant Paul Gascoigne for Tottenham. A game full of golden names in football's history, so it's over to match commentator Brian Moore and another footballing hero, Jimmy Greaves.
Liverpool in the all-red strip, attacking the goal to our right. The question, of course, is how are they going to react to the hounding and the defeat they had at the hands of Manchester United in midweek. Gascoigne gets it back. They bounced back before. They don't have to bounce back very often because they don't lose many. And it won't be easy today facing, as Laurie McMenemy was saying, it's an in-form team, Tottenham. Unbeaten this season. One defeat only in their last 21 games, stretching back to March the 21st. And yes, they beat Liverpool here.
Well, straightway, Brian, 5 across the back, so we now know how they're going to play.
It's Van den Hauwe for Tottenham. Naeem. Lineker off on a run. Stewart's waiting in the middle. It's a cross tailor-made for Stewart, but Grobbelaar grabbed it well. They're saying his 500th game, and he wouldn't want many like his 499th at Old Trafford the other night, when Bruce was at anything but his best. Steve Staunton. Free kick to Tottenham. David Howells with it, hitting it long again, but Hussein up well for Liverpool. There's Nicol. Naeem, to the cheers of the White Hart Lane faithful, gets in with the challenge. Barnes. So important for Liverpool. They got Barnes back and fit again. Staunton. Rush. And a swift challenge that time by Paul Allen. Dalglish, always one to make full use of his squad. He picks teams for specific games. Stewart outside him in a bit of space. Lineker now waiting in the middle. Naeem's gone outside him. There's the shot. Down again. Gillespie forward. The back heel there by Rush for Gillespie. Now for Beardsley, played in for Rush. Sedgley held them up well. Naeem caught napping there by Staunton. And then the little back heel for Gascoigne. But just look again how quickly David Burrows was in on Gascoigne.
That was excellent football by Liverpool, and you do get the feeling that if anyone's going to score at the moment, it's going to be Liverpool. They're working the ball a little bit better than what Tottenham are.
Van den Hauwe. Naeem. Offside against Howells. So no goals with 27 minutes of the first half gone here at White Hart Lane. And to be honest, at the moment, little to write home about, but just have to hope it's going to get better. Nice touch there by Stewart. Sadly for Tottenham, Paul Allen couldn't quite pick it up. Molby, a lovely little ball through for Beardsley, and a beauty by Beardsley now for Nicol. And how's there? Liverpool's throw. Beardsley had pulled out wide for him. Beardsley in towards Rush. Oh, that's where Rush is so dangerous. That sort of shot inside the box on the turn. On target with it.
That was a great effort. Beardsley held it up. Rush went. Still held it up. Rush came back. And then it was a good turn. Good football. You can see a lovely little chip in from Peter Beardsley here. Ian Rush turns very well.
Gillespie underneath this one. Molby. Sedgley to Mabbott. Bergson. And a ball for Molby. Beardsley. I don't think Molby has wasted a ball so far this afternoon, Jimmy. He's a super passer of the ball, isn't he? But here's Stewart. Lineker's made a great burst into the box. Paul Stewart. Cut out by Hussein.
Good effort, that. But there was 3 red shirts around him before he could blink. Yeah, oh yeah, and there he is. He's on the ball now. He's having a nice stroll round. This is the sort of formation that suits him. Because if he has to get back, he struggles a bit, and he can let that responsibility lie on somebody else.
Half an hour gone. Spurs 0, Liverpool 0. Both teams unbeaten in the league this season.
The way this game's going, that looks as though it's going to stand as well.
Well, there's Gascoigne hitting a long ball, inch perfect now for Gary Lineker. The white shirts are streaming forward. Cut out again by Hussein. Gascoigne fouled there by McMahon. That's going to be a yellow card for Steve McMahon. Well, it looks like he's going to pull Gascoigne's head off.
Yes, it definitely looked like a forearm smash. Not too dangerous, but enough to let Paul know where he was. Incident coming up here now. Yep. As you can see, yeah.
So that's a yellow card. It's a free kick then for Tottenham, with Naeem behind it, Gascoigne also behind it. But, well, all of 30, just over 30 yards. I imagine this will be a major problem, but with Gascoigne, you never know. He cracked it into the head of Ian Rush, knocked back again by Naeem, and that should be easy, as indeed it is, for Bruce Dollar.
Well, it's kept tight, and it's pretty obvious there is a now Gaza policy out there, and it's working at the moment. One has to say that. Paul's not really been in the game too much, except for one excellent ball to Gary Lineker.
Play by him, crossed it in, and Abbott getting it away, and then Staunton volleying it right across the fields, and a touch for a Tottenham throw, which Sedgley, no, I thought he was going to make the break for it, but Gascoigne's going to take the throw instead and picks up Van den Hauwe. Little flick in by him, Gillespie gets it away, Bergson returning it. Come on now to Beardsley. It's a real stifling performance, this, by Liverpool, and I've not seen one quite like this from them before, but it's a real compliment to Tottenham. And now they're going to break out, and this is where they could be dangerous, as Nicol Crosses it in. Bergson gets it away. McMahon follows it in. Hits it first time. Actually, it was a missed kick, and it very nearly fell for Steve Nicol.
I suppose it's a compliment to Tottenham, but as you say, Kenny was probably influenced by the result against Manchester United in the week. And thought, let's reorganise ourselves.
Another Liverpool throw. Steve Nicol finding Peter Beardsley. Mulvey, Burrows in there. And Howe off the ball, conceded the free kick. Getting involved with Burrows. Maybe a little bit of irritation showing there, but Burrows has done his job well on Gascoigne so far. Abbott up towards Rush. Abbott climbing beautifully there to get above the Liverpool striker. Giles knocking it down for Bergson, and goes Rush again. A fantastic amount of work right across the line, tackling back as well. So much more than a goal scorer. 8 to his credit so far this season.
That's not bad, is it?
Bendigo knocking it down. Hussein. Foul by Stewart on Mulvey. .35 minutes, 0-0. Hussein. And Howe. Mulvey. He is again shaking off one. Simple, accurate ball played to Steve McMahon. Taken nicely there by Nicol. Played in there towards Beardsley. Peter Beardsley over the top.
Well, it's an excellent move, this, by Liverpool. And Peter Beardsley high and wide, really, but I'm not sure whether he shouldn't have just held it up a little bit. There were two coming in on the far post, and he might well have been better to have crossed it. Certainly a wild shot.
Because it wasn't a bad shooting position, actually,
it was quite a good shooting position, and it was very un-Beardsley-like, really.
Whistle, another free kick. George is a bit whistle happy this afternoon. He's usually one who likes to let the game buzz a little bit, but at the moment we're getting quite a number of stoppages which aren't helping the game at all, of course. Steve Staunton seemed to slot so comfortably into that left midfield position. Staunton. Gillespie. Ablett. Mulvey. Gascoigne's after him. Ooh, he sold Ablett a little bit short on that one, Mulvey.
Yes, I don't think I'd be too happy if I was Gary Ablett there.
Beardsley. Rush. Mulvey. Staunton towards Burrows, just nicking it back for McMahon. A bit of space out here now for Nicol. Suddenly the red shirts are coming forward. There are four of them up there now, supporting Steve Nicol. One of them, Jan Mulvey. A little chip there towards Rush. And Liverpool have scored a goal. They came, we thought, to defend. We feared for Tottenham on the breakaway. And it was almost in slow motion there. We were looking around to see whether there was an infringement somewhere almost, but a lovely little bit of play again by Molby. Saying about his passing. Now what about that? Perfect. The rush, a flick over Torstvedt, and Liverpool in the lead.
I actually think that the keeper, Torstvedt, and the defender thought that Rush was offside. Certainly Nicol came back from an offside position as the ball was being played in, and a lot of the defenders stopped. But obviously the linesman deemed it that Nicol wasn't interfering with play in any way, and the goal stood.
I say
Very well taken goal.
Absolutely. I took my cue a little bit from the Spurs defence because I'd sort of half stopped thinking, well, where's the whistle? And George Courtney himself seemed to be a moment or two before he wheeled away and went to the centre spot, but...
They were stopping for Stevie Nicol, who had made a run, but he was coming back, and quite rightly, the linesman was fair enough. He wasn't interfering with play, even if he was offside, which I don't think he was at the time that Ian Rush received the ball.
Molby. Super ball by him, and another one up to Rush.
Whatever happens, it's 1-0 at the moment.
Gillespie. Rush. Play for Nicol. Beardsley busying himself, but Abbott there taking command for Tottenham. Now Gascoigne. Stopped by Molby. Nicol to Molby. Paul Allen. And Lineker. A good one! And it came off Gary Gillespie. Might have gone anywhere. Paul Stewart was a yard behind him. And in its way, that's the closest Spurs have been to a goal this afternoon. Naeem will take the corner for them.
Ball's played in here, actually, and it was missed. It was totally missed by Gillespie.
Naeem's corner for Tottenham. Owls with the flick on. Okay. Just to look again at that Ian Rush goal. I'm sure Laurie will want to talk about it.
As you can see, Stevie Nicol is running back off now, you see. And that's what the Spurs players have stopped for.
But I think on that picture as well, it could well have been that the number 2, Bergson, was probably just playing him onside. It was difficult from that sort of angle, but that was the impression that I got. Maybe Laurie McMenemy will have another look at it with Elton at half-time.
Yeah.
Certainly an excellent piece of...
it was a great goal. It was well taken by Ian Rush, and it proves the point that yet again, and I don't know why defenders do it, and all teams are guilty of it, is stopping and putting their hands up and relying on the linesman to give a decision.
Molby. Staunton. And out by Mabbott. 3 minutes to go to half-time now. David Howes taking far too long. Beardsley getting in behind him. Rush then dispossessing Paul Allen. Here's Naeem. A foul by Molby.
Something going on. Yeah, Molby's making tackles.
Naeem, who came from Barcelona. And of course, there's speculation that Molby might go to Barcelona. And that's the thing you can never get confirmed. Kenny Dalglish always says we only talk about transfer deals when they've been completed, so it's a pointless exercise asking him anything about the future of Jan Molby. But certainly Molby has had a terrific game, I think, so far in the midfield for Liverpool.
He's dominated particularly the attacking play once he's got the ball, because he is such an extremely accurate passer.
Rush. Beardsley. Here's Molby. Now that's going to be cut out.
Let's down.
That was
down, Brian,
that was a racing certainty as soon as we...
wasn't it?
Molby.
Oh, no.
There's his header that he hits straight to Gascoigne. Now Gascoigne gets it wide for Lineker. Crossed in by him and reflected along the way off a Liverpool defender for a Tottenham corner. That's the first time Gascoigne's got away from his marker. Naeem with the corner. Not a good one, but it hits it straight out to Gascoigne. Naeem. Did well. Espy got it away. Last minute of the first half. Rush. Seems incapable of scoring goals against Manchester United, you remember. 21 games against United, he failed to score, and he had such a good chance on Wednesday night. But against everybody else, he makes their life a misery. And he's done that for against Tottenham today. Throw. Beardsley. It's a bit too ambitious. I think Jimmy Liverpool have looked strong in key areas. I think Hussein's had a terrific game at the back for them, and as we were saying, Molby in the front, and then Rush doing what was necessary up front. Grobbelaar's looked much more secure this afternoon. The backbone of the side has looked so much more like it today than it did on Wednesday night.
Well, you've summed it up, Brian. I haven't got much else to say, really.
Well, here's Beardsley. Now Rush.
Can I say yes, Brian? But you're absolutely right. They have looked the much more competent side in all departments this half.
Staunton's throw finds Steve McMahon. Gillespie. McMahon hits it to Rush. He got it through to Beardsley, stopped by Sedgley. Gascoigne then dispossessed, and then Gascoigne runs into McMahon, and the referee's given a free kick to Liverpool for that. Just having just a little cautionary word with Paul Gascoigne.
It's funny that Burrows is marking Gascoigne, but there seems to be a bit of needle between Gascoigne and McMahon.
I think from the moment McMahon got the yellow card for the challenge on Gascoigne, possibly, Jim. Well, it's Molby behind this free kick for Liverpool. Towards Steve Nicol. Nicol wins it well in the air. Beardsley was almost in there. Spurs were in trouble there for a moment and might still be. Now the whistle's gone. It's a free kick to Tottenham.
Keeper was a bit late on that as well, wasn't he?
Just a fraction.
Oh. I'd say more than a fraction, Brian. The ball's played in here, and it's a great free kick, and Nicol gets up well.
In the end, it came to nothing for Liverpool, but they've scored the only goal of the first half. They've come and they've defended with great comfort and great assurance. They've looked quite fluid through the midfield, and Rush has given them that important goal. At half-time then, we'll get the views after the break with Laurie McMenemy, with Elton Wellesby. Half-time here at White Hart Lane. It's Spurs 0, Liverpool 1.
Good job. Concentrate. Brad, tackle Jake. Yeah. One. I think I got it, man. One. I'm on the right.
Well, apart from talking about the offside goal, Terry Venables has also made 2 substitutions. He's brought both his substitutes on, Mitchell Thomas and Paul Walsh. Gerdny Bergson has gone off, and so too has Naeem. So Walsh up front, no doubt. Here's Mitchell Thomas on the ball. Walsh, who scored a hat-trick against Sheffield United here. Former Liverpool player, of course. Needed maybe just to give that little bit of extra momentum to the attack. There's Walsh getting tangled in with Steve Nicol. Mitchell Thomas. Owls. Stewart. So they've increased their possibilities up front, Tottenham. Stewart. Now here's Walsh. Very popular is Paul Walsh. And he had a good spell, 28-year-old at Liverpool, 77 league games, 25 goals. Quite a good striking rate up there at Anfield. Lineker. So now there'll be extra support up front for Lineker and Stewart.
I think just harping back to what Terry had to say, Terry Venables at half-time, whether it was or not offside, his last remark, I think he was quite correct. They still could have dealt with it.
Correct. Rush.
And the fact that they didn't, I think, will be a major talking point in that dressing room at half-time.
I think it was a real nip and tuck offside decision. I'm not sure, you know, even looking at it again and again, whether when the ball is actually played, whether Nicol is offside or not. But it's all history now. Rush went on and scored. Liverpool lead by 1-0, and here's Molby with the corner for them. Up goes Mitchell Thomas, knocks it away there. Steve McMahon returning it.
Steve McMahon keeps slicing everything today. Take a golf lesson or something.
Lineker. Allen. Well, Allen playing basically as the right back now with Bergson off. And Mitchell Thomas basically down the left side of midfield. Beardsley. Molby. Burrows. It's a lovely little ball in. It's another one for Rush.
Oh, no argument.
A terrific strike by Liverpool. Coming in the first place from an unlikely quarter with Dave Burrows making his run. And what a great ball in here. Inviting Rush, an invitation he accepted with his usual style. Jimmy?
Well, there's no arguing with that one. That's a great ball in by Burrows, as you say. Rush is there, he's on the end of it, he's looking for it. He's the only one that's looking for it, and he deserved it. What's interesting is Burrows got away from Gascoigne, and Gascoigne was nowhere to be seen.
Now here's Gascoigne with the free kick.
It was a lovely goal.
Gascoigne. Hit towards Stewart. A flick on by him. Hussein gets it back to Grobbelaar.
It was a very good build-up as well, that goal, because it was taken from a throw-in in their own half, and Beardsley did very well, put the ball to Molby before it went to Burrows. So again, it was top quality Liverpool build-up.
So a worry for Terry Venables. Doug Livermore on the left, his right-hand man, a former Liverpool player.
I don't think it's much of a worry for Tell now. He knows we'll sit back and enjoy it.
Walsh. On for Stewart. Will it come for Lineker? Oh, Nicol made a mess of that clearance. David Howells now for Tottenham. What's he got available? That wasn't the ball that Paul Allen wanted. Staunton versus Allen. It's quickened the pace of it now. And a free kick given Tottenham's way. A foul by Staunton on Allen. Gascoigne quickly there, hits the free kick straight at Rush. Now, why did he want to do that? I know Rush hadn't got back off the ball, but...
Actually, in all honesty, George, Courtney should have a word with Paul Gascoigne on that incident.
That's a good free kick by Gascoigne, though, and it had Nicol at full stretch to get it away. Mitchell Thomas turning it back in once more. Howe didn't get a touch to it. Howe against the post. Lineker! And Spurs are back in business.
Well, it's certainly warmed up now.
We saw the two sides of Paul Gascoigne there. I mean, it was stupid the way he hit the ball at Rush there, but then he floated in this magical free kick. Howes hit the post. It rebounds then to Lineker. Robillard couldn't hold it, and it's 2-1 now to Liverpool. Gascoigne down, the foul by Steve Nicol.
Tottenham got the bit of luck they needed there, because the ball, it was a great effort that hit the post. And fortunately for Tottenham, it came back to Gary Lineker, who was able to slot it in. They deserved it. They've battled hard. And it certainly makes a game of it now, mate. It's warmed up a bit on this gantry now.
It has a bit. It needed to, Jim. Well, there's a problem for Paul Gascoigne. While we were looking at that, Steve Nicol got a yellow card for the challenge on Paul Gascoigne. Well, the free kick that he floated in that led to the goal has been his major contribution so far. He's been so well watched by David Burrows. Well, here comes a free kick. A little bit of a hip injury after the game against Bradford did Gascoigne. Took on by Stewart, knocked away by Ablett, not very far. Spurs have got the taste for it at the moment, but McMahon hits it long towards Burrows. Rush, the two-goal man. Nicol. Abbott. Or rather, Mallett. Walsh. Goes past Mulvey. Gets away from Nicol. In goes Gascoigne. McMahon. Nicol. Bit of passion about it now. Mulvey just holding off Gascoigne, finding Burrows. Gascoigne into the back of Burrows.
Oh, I wouldn't entirely agree with that one, George, either. He stepped in front of Gascoigne, I think, on purpose. But certainly Tottenham have stepped it up a gear, and Paul Walsh in particular, because he's going for the Liverpool defence and he's creating panic.
And we're beginning to get the game we expected now. Staunton clipped off a Tottenham player, I think probably Paul Gascoigne. There's a good throw out by Torstvedt to Paul Walsh. Stewart waiting in the middle. Thomas. Lineker. Vanden Howe. Into Walsh. Back again to Vanden Howe. Stewart tried to get there, but Hussein got there first, and I think Stewart just clipped him there. Let's have a look at the Tottenham goal again. That's really opened up this game now.
Well, Thomas knocks it in. That's a great shot. It's unlucky there, but it rebounds, fortunately for Tottenham, to Gary Lineker. Brucey was totally unsighted there.
Beardsley. Nicol. It's a Tottenham free kick. Followed by Hussein, quickly taken by Walsh. And cut out well by Ablett just when it looked as though Howes' ball might go through to Lineker. Now Ablett. Lineker up, or rather Beardsley up alongside him, and so too is Rush. It's there for Beardsley!
Well, that's a great move.
Fantastic run by Peter Beardsley. And a great breakaway goal by Liverpool. Ablett's part in it was magnificent.
Good cross by Rush. Problem was that Tottenham Hotspur had the ball with a free kick in a commanding area and gave it stupidly away.
Now Allen. Rush. Beardsley. Taking him on. Slipping it wide for Staunton. Straight at the keeper. Something also that Laurie McMenemy said at half-time, he's quite right, you know, that although that was a breakaway goal, it's not just a breakaway, they get so many men forward, although you think they're defending. Suddenly you look forward when they're attacking, and there are 5 or 6 options.
Well, they weren't defending, actually, in as much as I say, Tottenham had a very good chance. They had a great chance of a good free kick in a good position and just stupidly gave it away, and all the Liverpool shirts just went forward, and it's 3-1.
Was Beardsley offside in the middle when Ablett releases the ball? There.
It was certainly unmarked.
Our angle isn't the best angle, of course. The linesman. Lineker. Might get Gascoigne in here. And Grobbelaar stopped that with his left boot. I don't think Gascoigne was in with a chance of getting a shot in there. He looked as though he'd been crowded out, but he found a little bit of extra pace somewhere and some determination to go with it after Lineker had played the ball in.
Yes, he's in and he's forced himself well, and Bruce has got it covered. Brian, you've been looking at my notes, haven't you? You've been having a little peek. Yes, David Burrows is, can I say David Burrows is one of the 3.
Well, there's a yellow card for Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah. Well, he was slightly lucky to get away with it, as you pointed out earlier on a couple of minutes ago. And obviously, Gazza's getting frustrated. It's not been a very happy afternoon for him. He's got a world stage here this afternoon, and it hasn't worked out for him.
McMahon. Gascoigne. McMahon. It's the better of him, though. And the referee has blown. Gascoigne's gone down after the clash with McMahon there, holding his face. I think it was just flailing arms, and then he shrugs the referee away. And Gary Mabbutt's gone to calm things down. Well, you can see there's blood on Gascoigne's face. And McMahon, who's already been booked, it's obviously a little bit of a clash there. And Mabbutt has sent Gascoigne away up into the centre circle. And just talking to from the referee, a thumbs up.
No, I think that's sensible by George Courtney. It was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other between Gascoigne and McMahon.
Oh, there was an elbow there, Jimmy. Stewart. Came off McMahon. Tottenham's throw. Mabbutt with it. Stewart again to Gary Mabbutt. Gascoigne curling another one in there. Walsh tried the header. Owls now turning it for Lineker. Turned back quickly by him to McMahon. Walsh shrugging him off. Walsh just wide. Liverpool's goal kick.
Good effort by Walsh.
So the man who's just signed a new contract for Liverpool and playing his 500th game for them today looks as though he might finish on the winning side. Bruce Grobbelaar. Lineker. 7 minutes of the game left now. Mitchell Thomas. towards Howells. Can Walsh get in there? No. Hussein got there first. Mulby, Hussein, Rush. What about that for passing? Simple but accurate. Making progress all the time. And then Mulby unleashes the long one for Rush. Keeping possession well, comfortably. Beardsley, goodness knows how many passes this is now. Staunton. Hit it straight at Sedgley. Might come through for Staunton. Beardsley trying to get in there too. If anything, he may well have put Staunton off. And now Gascoigne. Little touch for Allen. Stopped by Burrows.
Yeah, I think Peter Beardsley got in Steve Staunton's way there.
Walsh. Gillespie got that away.
Well, unless Tottenham score in the next minute, you can't see it going any other way now. Being a very confident, competent victory by Liverpool. Certainly the second half has turned out to be what we were looking for, and here comes Gaza.
Gascoigne. He fell over Gillespie's feet. It's a free kick to Tottenham. Talked about it being a world stage. It's going live, this match, to 9 countries beside our own. Brandon Howe. It's going live to Holland and Germany and France, Iceland, Greece, Israel, Indonesia, Thailand and Malaysia. The word would have gone round the world that Liverpool are as formidable as ever they've been.
And the Isle of Wight.
Certainly those European countries watching it live will know that if Liverpool do get back into Europe next season, well, they're going to be a force once again to be reckoned with. Sedgley hitting it forward to Stewart. Finds Lineker. Ablett with him, just held him up long enough at the expense of a corner, which Lineker himself is proposing to take. Stewart's there. Lineker. Allen kicking towards the near post. It was again easy for Grobbelaar. A tidy game down the right flank, this Paul Allen today. Beardsley. Here's Gascoigne. Quick with the outside of the boot, almost sending Walsh away. Gascoigne onto it again. Thomas. There's Burrows once more. Kept it in play to find Nicol. In turn, finding McMahon. Burrows gets it back to McMahon. To Hussein. Gillespie. Mulby. Liverpool fans enjoying this. Now Mulby taking them on. He's got Beardsley on one side, and over on this left flank is Steve Staunton. Mulby again. And again. Howell's there on that occasion. Well, I think with about 3 minutes left, Jimmy, it's maybe time that you should nominate your Barclays man of the match. He gets a bottle of champagne.
Well, my Barclays man of the match.
Let's have a look just a moment.
This afternoon.
Let's see what happens here first.
Let's see what happens. You're right.
Mulby, Hussein. Okay, name him now, James.
Well, it's David Burrows, because apart from his defensive qualities, not necessarily against Paul Gascoigne, but he's defended well, and this second half, he's come forward and he's made things happen. He's had a great game.
And he made the second goal for Rush.
He made
didn't
the
That lovely
second
cross.
goal, and he's made things happen for Liverpool coming forward in the second half, whilst keeping a very excellent defensive quality about him as well.
So well done, David Burrows. How your life can change in a few short days. He was booed off the pitch at Old Trafford on Wednesday after that tackle on Danny Wallace. But
No
it's
one's
certainly-
going to argue with that either, Brian.
No, exactly. And it's all come good for him now. Walsh now for Tottenham. Oh, it might be there for Stewart. Howells can't get to it. Can Allen drive it home? It might come for Howells again. There are red shirts all around him, and in the end, McMahon gets it back to Grobbelaar. But just for a moment there, it looked as though Paul Stewart might be able to make the score 2-3. Back to Grobbelaar now. Jimmy?
Yeah, it's a good effort. Again, Paul Walsh, who has been Spurs' best player probably during the second half, made it happen. And Stewart, not quite quick enough, I don't think, but then Paul Stewart isn't the quickest, but he's not to blame for that. But it would have made an interesting last couple of minutes.
As it is, Molby catches Rush offside with his pass.
And I do wonder whether Walsh shouldn't have been on from the start, because he certainly has been Tottenham's most dangerous player during the second half.
Beardsley offside. Well, the Liverpool fans are letting the cry of champions ring around White Hart Lane. In a really good professional performance again by Liverpool. With one or two dashes of excitement about it as well. Little Beardsley just unable to get there. And Spurs, who've been in such good form for so long this season, must have felt that this was an admirable opportunity to put one across Liverpool, particularly when Liverpool lost Barnes so early in the game. But here's Beardsley, with Liverpool leading 3-1.
In all honesty, Brian, Spurs haven't played badly. I think they've defended badly at times.
Staunton gets it back. They've certainly been outgunned through the midfield, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Tottenham. Partially due to the fact, as you say, your man of the match has subdued Paul Gascoigne, and that really has changed the course of the whole game. There's Burrows again. Terrific stuff by him again. Taking on Mabbott, running into Mabbott. Goal kick. Well, a very good competitive second half. After a disappointing first. And Liverpool on their way to 3 more points.
I think Bruce will get this up as far as he can. Yep.
Sedge's header. McMahon. 2 minutes of time added on, already played. Lineker. Final whistle. And Liverpool have won by 3-1. The champions have come bouncing back again after that defeat at Old Trafford. That's been eliminated. They are still unbeaten in the league. They're now 4 points clear of Arsenal. Peter Beardsley, the scorer of their last goal after Rush had scored 2, and Gary Lineker had given Spurs a glimmer of hope when the score came back to 2-1.